Amazing. Hey, you guys, welcome back. So we are at our new time, just as a little reminder, obviously. If you're watching the playback recording later, we are going to be meeting at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays. And hopefully that can just stay consistent there, but we shall see. And in that, being flexible to life and all of its amazing opportunities, we will focus today on building an unlimited reality. Now, I love this technique. I love this technique. I didn't even realize, like, it's so funny. It's so interesting. Like, as we're like reading through, the concept of it and the idea of it, it seems kind of superficial and like, oh yeah. But as you get into actually listening to the process with your eyes closed and having somebody guide you, it is profound, the difference of what happens when you're just learning something intellectually with your conscious mind and when you're actually experiencing something inside of your imagination and your feelings and your imagery and like allowing it to sink deep down. It is a very different experience. And that to me is really the kicker. Like, that's really the key. That's how we take our life experience and we make it our own, is within those moments of contemplation and meditation and integrating into our own self what it is that we are learning. So I'm super excited for this one. Maria, you might remember as I kind of go through, it's chapter 11, Unlimited Reality. So this technique is used when the subject doesn't feel that he or she possesses the resources needed to accomplish their desired change or enhancement. Sports improvement, public speaking are two good examples. And actually, I like to use this one with my weight loss clients as well, because they just don't understand how they could possibly go to a buffet and not overeat. They just have never had that experience. Like, yeah, they see that other people might do it, and like logically they know that it's possible, or go to a celebration and a party and not eat the cake and or not care about the cake, right? Like that, they have never had that experience. So if you're really wanting to make some changes in your life, but you just like, you can see that it maybe exists out there for other people, but you haven't yet had the experience to draw on that strength yourself, this is a really good technique. It's often been said that we are all created equal. Well, if this were true, then we would all be the same and the world would be a thoroughly boring place to live in. NLP, which stands for neuro-linguistic programming, in one sense is a study of people and just what successful people do differently, consistently to get results. The unlimited reality technique is the framework one uses for accessing the attitudes, the belief system, or the behaviors of another person. Now, through the unlimited reality technique, one can gain the resources needed to attain the same or a better outcome for yourself. Unlimited reality is my favorite technique to use with golfers. I usually start the session with a key question. Can you think of a professional athlete who possesses the skills and abilities that you would like for yourself? People willing to pay a large sum to be hypnotized for improving their golf game know their sport well and usually have at least one, two, or even three names immediately in mind. These clients come in with a jump on the program. They have watched and studied these exceptional athletes so many times, they already have appropriate mental tapes running in their minds. They just don't know yet how to use them. The unlimited reality technique is an excellent way to access those memories. Hey, Jody, what's up? Bianca is like, yeah, no problem. Welcome here. So we're on chapter 11, Unlimited Reality. Let's see. Yeah, notice how he says here, memories. This is, to me, the idea. He's really touching on the concept of thoughts and intentions and experiences as being energy beyond our own physical body. That as soon as those thoughts are thought and those words are expressed and those actions are done, that information is then available in the super consciousness of all of us. And one example, and this is one that's very well known, but we can extrapolate that to the small and to the big, is the 4-minute mile. for years, I mean, I'm talking decades, people were like, it's not possible. The human body, scientists came out and said it, the human body cannot run under a 4-minute mile. It's not possible. All the fastest people for decades, their goal, their vision, their mission was to break the 4-minute mile, and nobody could do it. And I mean, like, it was, 30 years that they were like focused on this. Well, then one day, I think it was a French guy, I forgot his name, but he broke the 4-minute mile, and within a month, 12 other people had broke it. So as soon as we really like have that consciousness, I mean, it's the same as all things, right? Like the light bulb, it's like, well, who invented it? Well, there's two different people on opposite sides of the planet before airplanes, right? That had that same idea. Same with the telephone, right? There is a collective consciousness that is available to all of us. And as soon as we begin to see that there are possibilities and that other people can do things, it expands our own awareness of ourselves. It's very powerful and amazing. So notice how he says memories, access the memories. So as soon as we begin to have that experience that we've gained from somebody else, as soon as we've thought it and experienced it in our imagination, it's now a memory. It's our own memory. So powerful. With this technique, the golfer in your chair can have a very real experience as the professional golfer that he or she watches on television. The next time your golfer views Tiger Woods on television, he or she will no longer be in an armchair official, but will be able to get into the game and be on the course swinging the club with Tiger. Now, whether training in golf, basketball, any other sport, your clients can learn micro muscle movements through a simple imaginative process, just as a child learns to walk and talk. And the same with any change that anybody wants to make, there is going to be some movements and some body experiences and some thoughts and some frameworks that are obviously different from what the person is conditioned to. Otherwise, it would be a memory for them and they would just go back the behavior, whatever it was. The bread and butter of hypnotherapy, and this was obviously a few years ago, with clients, was to stop smoking. When smokers walk into a hypnotist's office, they have no idea how they will be a non-smoker. I once worked with a subject named Ellen, who had been smoking for over 50 years. Ellen was so convinced that she had no way out of her smoking behavior, she began to feel trapped within it. She had fully embraced the societal belief that quitting smoking is grueling, that she had a physical addiction to nicotine, and that she will gain weight as soon as she stops lighting up. Oh my God, that's such a common like BS right there. I started Ellen's session by reminding her that she was not born with a cigarette in her hand and was not placed in the smoking section of the nursery. Everyone is born a non-smoker, and the natural human condition is smoke-free. I reminded her that as a child, she learned by watching the people around her. Somehow, as a child, her eyes began to see, her ears began to hear, and her body began to feel based on what she was experiencing in the world around her. She could mimic sounds by listening intently and watching the source from which it came. She began to move her muscles just right so as to emulate that sound. I think you talk about speaking, right? I reminded her of how she learned to walk. I suggested that it may have happened something like this. Eleanor was lying in her crib one day when she began noticing that everyone around her was walking around on two legs. While she remained on her back or belly, or at best her hands and knees, after watching for a time, she decided that if everyone else was doing it, she probably could too. She began to pull herself up. At first, she supported herself on the side of the curb. She soon found out that standing on her legs wasn't easy as it looked. The people who moved through her life seemed to do it with such ease. When she grew curious enough, she would let go of the crib, but would invariably plop down on her seat. At times, the consistent falling may have brought about an unconscious belief that she would never be able to do it. But something overcame that belief. Something inside of her told her that what others around her could do, she could also do. Oh my God, this is so powerful and important to remember, to surround ourselves with people who are right, like on the path, who are doing and saying and believing and acting in the ways that we also want to, as we will naturally mimic. And they actually call that mirror neurons. It's inside of the brain, and they're realizing that we actually have this ability to do that at any age, not just when we're little. So Ellen began to imagine herself walking like all the people that she had been watching. She started out with crawling so she could build the strength in her legs and hips. She built strength in her arms so that later she could pull herself up next to a couch or where she could feel a firm ground beneath her feet. Suddenly, after all her practice, the muscles would respond perfectly and she would take a step and then two. In no time, Ellen was walking with ease, just as she had seen all the people around her do. Now she takes walking across a room for granted. It can be accomplished without conscious thought and no effort at all. I asked Ellen if she ever noticed how a baby, once having learned to walk, rarely falls down again. She nodded her head acknowledgingly, and she had 3 children of her own. From the day they took their first steps, all 3 had walked from that day on. I told Ellen this is the case with most everything that we learn to do in life. If Ellen could now tap into that learning resource within her mind, she could indeed learn to be a non-smoker. Ellen had tried to stop smoking on her own many times. I explained as humans, whether infants or adults, we learn through failure. But a failure is never really a failure. It is only feedback. Our brain continues to feed us new information, upgrading that knowledge until it works and we accept it as truth. Now, as I took Ellen through the unlimited reality technique, she was able to think of a non-smoker that she admires and then imagine herself as that person. As she sat at her desk, she imagined herself as her boss, who found it very easy to walk through the office without a cigarette. In fact, her boss had been a non-smoker for as long as Ellen had known her. She found out later that her boss had, in fact, stopped smoking several years earlier. Ellen realized that non-smokers do everything the same as smokers, except they don't have the hassle, worry, or unconscious fear that is the byproduct of cigarette smoking. She had lifted the burden of the past by activating the unlimited possibilities in her mind. How loud is that leaf blower? It's annoying. Here, let me see if I can get rid of it. Is that a little better? A little better? Okay, well, I'll put myself on mute here in a moment. There is a part of every one of us that absorbs new information and ideas through the experiences of others. Oh my God, totally. Jody, and I was just thinking about I mean, obviously you had the inspiration and the intuition and the drive, and you knew that you wanted to write a book. By the way, Maria, did you get Jody's book? Just saying. But you also, when we see other people doing it, you're like, I can do that too. I can do that. I know that I feel that inside of my heart as well. It's called curiosity. If you were curious enough about how someone or something you want to do, would you be willing to imagine yourself walking in the other person's shoes? If so, can you imagine it with detail, including what is being said, heard, and experienced? You can notice what words are being spoken internally. Can you imagine the rhythm of that person's breathing? Woof. This process of imagining every aspect of an experience is called micro-modeling, and it is the foundation of unlimited reality. The unlimited reality technique is for people who have no conscious concept of how they will act or respond with the desired change in place. I have even been known to send people out to rent a particular movie and watch it as if they are the character in the film, simply to get the experience from a different perspective. You may contrast this with a disassociation as a resource, as an association as a resource, because you are going to fully associate yourself with another person's life and experiences and the skill that they have that you want, taking it on as your own and remembering that the other than conscious mind stores all information as truth, usable for future beneficial results. Hell yes. Oh my God, this is one of my favorites. Okay, so Jody, you be thinking about something that you would like to either enhance or experience or benefit from in that way, something that you would like. And then Maria, why don't you grab a pen and paper so that you can ask the outcome questions of Jody. And then it'll be kind of fun, Maria, if as she's answering, if you can just in the back of your mind, begin to notice, and I know that we already went through this and told each other, so we kind of like have a little bit of a cheat sheet, but it's kind of fun too, just to notice the visual, auditory, and or kinesthetic words that Jody uses to describe what she wants in her experience. She's grabbing some paper. You're on mute.
Okay, go ahead and repeat yourself because I was finding some paper.
Cool. So the outcome questions on mine, it's page 82, 83. So it'd probably be somewhere around there for you. So ask these questions of Jody, and you know that not all of them are like exactly relatable to, you know, whatever the topic is, but just go through them and ask her what it is that she would like. And, you know, then if she has someone in mind that has that skill that she's looking for, but as she's giving you the answers, and then obviously you're going to read through the Unlimited Reality script, but as she's giving you the answers, it would be fun to just kind of notice the different visual, auditory, and kinesthetic words that she's using to describe her, like what she wants and her experience and how she's seeing it. Does that make sense?
A little bit. I tell me again about the auditory, the visual, and the kinesthetic. What am I looking for?
Yeah. So someone who's, I mean, we already know each other's things, but it's still fun to just notice the words that people use.
Oh, the words.
Someone who's super kinesthetic is going to be like, I just can't really feel it. You know, I just want to feel like I have a handle on it. Someone who's very auditory is going to be like, you know, it just doesn't really sound like a good idea. I really need it to resonate with me in a way that, right? So like they use more auditory words than more visual people are like, you know, I need to see the plan. I need it written down. I need to see what we're doing before we go through with it. So yeah, it would just be kind of fun to notice if you,
to figure out what her leading learning model is. Got it.
Right. And then, you know, when you know that, you can kind of, you know, navigate and add some of those other words in or kind of highlight them as you're reading through the script, because Porter does a pretty good job at doing all three. You know what I mean? Like he teaches us what he's doing, but he really is, it's a broad overview, right? So like he appeals to people who are directly suggestible, indirectly suggestible, you know, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. You know, like he does it all in the scripts, which is really nice, but it is a good idea to be able to, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big punch bowl of different fruit.
Yeah, but you can personalize it a little bit more by knowing this about her.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's go through the outcome questions. If Jody, you've got something in mind you'd like to focus on today?
So can it be like anything? Can it be a goal that I want to achieve?
Yeah. What would you like to attain? It could be a goal. Yes.
I want a beautiful lake house with a sunrise and sunset view.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, beautiful lake house with sunset view. Okay.
Yeah, a sunset and a sunrise view.
Sunrise. Okay.
Want it all, yo.
Well, okay, got it. Okay. When would you like to have this change?
by December 31st, 2022.
Okay, can I just interject a little bit here? So not all techniques are right for all situations, right? So in this particular instance, if there is not, this is more of like a person thing. So if there isn't someone that you're trying to like learn from in terms of like, what do I need? I mean, and it could be like the lake house, the block could be that you don't know what it's actually like to be a person who buys a lake house. Do you know what I mean? To be that person that has that much, you know, authority and I don't know what it is that you think that you don't have, but whatever it is to like have that life experience. If there's a person that you or people that you can think about, then this technique will be helpful. But if not, it's not really the best for those kind of goals.
Right. Okay. So it's the goal of wanting to be like someone else or wanting to have.
It's not necessarily like someone else, but you want that skill. Like, for example, and this is the example I was giving earlier, like with my clients with the weight loss, like some of them have no idea how to go to a buffet and not overeat. Right? They get that there are people who can do that, but like they can't do that. They can't even imagine a life like that. It's just never been part of their experience. They don't know how to go to a celebration and a party and not eat cake or not care about the cake. Do you know what I mean? So like in that situation, it's not like they want to be like somebody else, but like they don't have the skill yet and they know that other people have it. So they want to learn what that skill is.
Okay. I've got it. I think I've got it. Okay, so what do I want to attain? I want to be able to write an impactful story without caring what anybody thinks. A story that publishers go into bidding wars for. That's what I want.
And do you have someone in mind that has done that you kind of look up to and you're like, fuck, yes, that.
I do.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Perfect.
And who is that person?
His name is Al.
Al?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 Nice. Just simply L, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So how often do you need to display this behavior to convince that you have made a change?
Daily.
Is there any reason you should not make this change?
No.
Have you ever made a similar change?
Have I ever made a similar change? Yes. Just recently.
What are the positive benefits of making that change?
Impacting people's lives for the positive, setting an example, possibly contributing towards a lake house. Freedom. Freedom and impact, I guess, would be simple words.
Is there any part of you that doesn't want this change?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any place that you don't want to change?
Any place means?
Yeah, any place that you don't want to change in your life?
So let me
you
just
don't
give you an example, like back to the ladies. You know, if they're like, well, I want to, about the buffet. It's like, I want to not overeat. I want to not overeat. I want to not eat the cake at the party or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, do you want to not eat cake anywhere ever? Or do you want to just not eat cake at the party? Do you know what I mean? So like, sometimes we make these blanket statements of like, I want this, but there's parts of our brain are like, but that you can't just, you know what I mean? Like, it's not appropriate to be attentive every aspect of your life. You know, it's not appropriate to be assertive literally everywhere. Like, right. Like there's give and takes to personality.
So good. Yes. When I am with my friends and my fiance, my then husband, I just want to be me. I don't want to be this #1 best-selling published author, asked for advice all the time. Yeah.
Who doesn't care what other people think?
Right.
You're like, that's not appropriate in all
Right.
relationships. Right. Totally.
I tell you to fuck off. You should be fine with that. That one. Yeah. That's funny.
Okay. All right. What will you need to occur during the process for you to make the changes?
Daily action.
Okay.
Connection and flow.
Did you say connection?
Connection and flow.
Okay.
Courage. Commitment. And allowing.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Good job.
Thank you.
So Maria, you can either do the yes and no with the fingers and see if she can move her camera, or you can just have her respond. You know what I mean? Verbally.
Okay.
The last time, it's up to you.
Right. You're not laying down, are you? So I guess you can, which one do you feel comfortable doing? The yes response with the fingers or just verbally saying?
You can just verbally say it.
Okay. Hold on, let me find my page. That was chapter 11, correct? There we go.
Yeah.
Is it hot in here or is it just me?
Are you having a flash?
Let me open the window. I'll be right back.
Totally. Get some water too. It's always good.
Yeah, I got water.
Get some water. Yeah. So I kind of wrote out my story this morning and like scheduled it as a post, what we were talking about the other day, Jody.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm excited. When does it go live?
On Wednesday. So I want to talk to you about it first and kind of go through it, and make some edits and see if you know what I mean? You get the vibe and the flow, and then of course got to think about a picture and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you for that. That
You're
was
so welcome. It's gonna roll.
opened me up. Yeah, opened me up a little more. It's cool.
Yeah, I turned on the fan. Can you guys hear it?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. All right, so. Okay, I'm ready whenever you guys are ready. Are we feeling cozy and comfortable?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, just relax and close your eyes. And think of someone who has the skills and the ability that you would like to develop. And take all the time you need. And when you find this person, give me a yes response.
Yes.
Okay. This technique should never be used first. So your client should already be conditioned to a yes and no response. For ease of reading and clarity, the balance of this script is written as if the person, the client, wishes to model a male. I recommend asking the client, is this person a man?
Yes.
Okay, great, excellent. Now that you have found this person with the skills and the abilities that you would like to develop, I want you to follow behind him as if you're watching him from a distance. Okay. And you can notice his face and the movements of his body as if you're right behind him as he moves through his day, displaying the behaviors that you desire. Take all the time you need. The seconds become hours and the hours become days. And when he has completed his day displaying the behaviors and the attitude that you desire, give me a yes response. Take all the time you need.
Yes.
Perfect. Now move through the day once again, but this time imagine that you are seeing through his eyes and hearing through his ears and feeling what his body feels and senses. You're just along for the ride, as if you can now understand his internal dialogue, what he says to himself, while he's displaying this behavior or attitude. Take all the time you need, and when you have made it through the day once again in full color, just let me know with a yes response.
Yes.
It's not necessary for you to see it or hear it or feel it. Just relax and imagine that it's all happening around you. You're doing perfectly. You're doing wonderful. You're connecting and going with the flow, being committed to all of your goals. You're doing perfectly, wonderfully. And once you have done this, go ahead and anchor yourself by touching the back of your hand with your other hand. Now bring that experience into your own body and imagine using the resources you just experienced in your own past. That's right. Go back to a time and reorganize your thoughts and your feelings of the past, looking through the eyes of change, hearing through the ears of discovery, and benefiting them from the realization that what a mind can conceive and believe, the body naturally and willingly and normally achieving. Feeling the positive impact and the benefits flowing through, being connected to something greater than yourself, perhaps a goal. Your thoughts are becoming new. Your concepts are new that are helping you to change and to shape your perception of reality. Take all the time you need to change your past. Not caring what people think. What changes were made? How are they positively changing the benefits, benefiting you in the future that are going to impact and setting an example for other people towards your bright and compelling future? And when you need them the most, take all the time you need. Take a deep breath and relax and go with the flow, connected with something greater than yourself, something positive. And when you have completed this, making the changes to your past, give me a yes response. Take all the time you need.
Yes.
Now that the changes have been established in your past, think of the things that will occur in your day-to-day activity, your daily actions that will trigger this resource with a new attitude. Think of all the times and the places where you would benefit upon awakening, when you'll be able to demonstrate these positive changes that will impact the world around you. Think of all the times and the places that will benefit you upon awakening, that will demonstrate a positive change, where the behavior of the past will be altered in such a positive and profound way from this day forth. You constantly, every day, a daily action that will be simply connected and flowing, impacting your future, full of freedom, full of benefits, such as encouragement, courage, feeling freedom on a day-to-day basis, making an upgrade in your life experience. Some of the changes will happen first thing in the morning upon awakening, helping you to feel fresh and alive and committed, ready to lead a successful day of discovering who you are by developing who you desire to be, such as your friend Elle. Some of these changes will happen within and throughout the day as you look back over your successful encounters, where if you simply made the right decision and at the right time. Take a deep breath and relax, and allow this positive flowing process of your mind to focus in on your future, where you need and want to set an example for other people. Full of courage and freedom, reaching your goals, perhaps a lake house where you can view the sunrise and the sunset. Just focus on your future, bright and colorful, as if you're really there. Feeling what you need to feel, hear what you need to hear, and see what you need to see. Focus on your future, where you would need this the most. And when you arrive and the changes have already been made, take all the time that you need to hear and experience your future. And when you are convinced when the changes have been already made, and that your other than conscious mind will provide all that you need for this necessary behavior or behaviors to be, and the correct attitude to reach your goal. Just let me know with the yes response.
Yes.
You have all the resources that you need to accomplish your goals. And if there's any noise or anything that might just hinder, take another deep breath, and it will allow you to go deeper into your compelling future, your unlimited reality. Relax, feeling encouraged and free to impact and be a positive example for your friends and your family and for people in general. You can use this technique consciously and subconsciously anytime that you desire. Your mind and the powerful resource which has always been there, keeping you safe, keeping you grounded and connected. You will remember this process in the days and the weeks and the months to come. If you come to any contact who displays the behavior such as your friend Al, and the attitudes that you would like to develop, even without your knowledge, you will simply begin to integrate the behaviors and your attitude, and the attitude that will make you feel connected, encouraged, and positive. Take all the time you need. And when you are ready, return to the room. And when you do, you will feel positive, refreshed, happier than ever before. Slowly come back into the room. And every day, and every way in your life, it will get better and better. And this is so.
And so it is. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Cool. Was there anything that you were surprised about during that, Jody?
Yes and no. When she was talking about my past, like I was thinking of a time where I just had a solid week where I shut everybody out, and it was just like full on focus to submit this book proposal to Hay House. And I had to just like, I didn't have time for anything. And I was like, I already did it. But then when she was talking about the changes back in that time, and I was just like, what would be a change? And then I was like, oh yeah, like maybe not full on 100% all of my time and energy going towards that, but maybe like giving myself some space to go for a walk, like care for my body. Which was interestingly one of the first things that I saw when I tapped into Al was him kind of getting up, going for a walk, grabbing some coffee, and then going to sit down to write. And then like just this complete energetic bubble that he was in of like nothing was going to penetrate that bubble, but it was a very concentrated amount of time during the day. And then the bubble wasn't there anymore and he did other things. So yeah, it's very cool.
I really like that because that makes so much sense. It's something that we forget to like have the balance because it just, but this is the first of many books. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. That was awesome.
Yes, it was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. This was really cool. It reminded me of more techniques and tools that we can use in our toolbox. And yeah, this was one of my favorites too, because new information that you didn't know, or you learned from somebody else is really like useful.
Yeah.
It allows you to imagine and get information that you would not have if you didn't open to that possibility. Great technique. And Dr. Porter is a punch bowl. So he was throwing stuff at me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that right now, Dr. Porter. It's too confusing. Something about the resource organizer. I'm like, nah, let's focus on this one.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, Jody, you'll probably go back and read it at some point in life. But when at one point she asked, like, you know, is there anything that you still need? Right. She said it as a statement instead of a question. But if she had said it as a statement, it was like, is there anything else that you still need? If you had said yes, well, then obviously you didn't get everything you needed from that person. So you'd have to go and
Right.
generate a resource.
I did not want to go there.
Somewhere else. Right.
I wanted to keep it simple. Dr.
Right,
Porter,
so,
thank you. You have too many octopus hands. No.
So
He
each
do this, and
technique
I'm
is
like, no, I'm just going to keep it simple.
right. So each technique is really, I mean, you can use all of them anytime. It's not going to hurt you in any way, but they're really kind of specifically designed to be most helpful in specific areas. You know, it's like where people are stuck. It's just one of those ways to, you know, navigate around a stuck spot. So that was actually kind of cool. And I just wanted to highlight that. Thanks for reminding us, Maria, that, you know, the different techniques, like once you start to get familiar and comfortable with them, you can grab whatever one that you need during a session for the person, like whatever's going on for them. And, you know, you don't have to go through it. It doesn't have to be super lengthy, right? Like sometimes I make the sessions 45 minutes, right? Where we're like really going into detail and going very deep, and it's very thorough, and there's music and there's all kinds of things happening. And sometimes it's just like, all right, let's ask a couple questions, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, go do some work, come out. Like it doesn't always have to be a long drawn out thing, but it can be if you wanted to. It's like really pleasurable that way too.
Love it.
Awesome. All right, ladies. So was there any questions or other comments that you wanted to bring up before we convene until next week?
This goes really fast this hour. And the recordings can go, just like you said, really lengthy, and it can go really short. And it's just like it's over already. What did we do? It went by so fast. Which is, to me, is positive. It's fun. I like it.
It's really positive. I mean, a lot of change can happen just in a few minutes, you know, when it comes to the mind, because once we go there, like there really isn't time. Time isn't really a factor. Like I was actually pretty surprised, Jody, that, you know, as she was talking, I mean, and because you were already set up in our conscious conversation of like where we were going, it made it that much quicker, that you didn't need to, you know, spend a lot of time finding the person. You didn't need to spend a long time following them around. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was real quick, at least from my perspective of time.
No, it was. I was surprised when she was like ready to go. I'm like, oh, where was my spot?
Yeah.
So
yeah, plus
she was so fast.
So I tend to like receive things before, like I was receiving. That's why I was smiling part of the time. Like I was receiving the outcome or information before you ever even spoke it out of your mouth. And so it was like, okay, yeah, there it is. And I do the same thing. Like when I get into group classes, I'll receive the lessons before they happen. So it's not surprising to me, because it was like, yeah, that's kind of how it works a lot of the time.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That happens to me too. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. And I
Yeah.
don't want to be a smarty pants and say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just kind of go with the flow and shut my mouth. So I don't like mess up the groove with the people,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I get those messages too. They'll just come in visuals. And I'm like, oh, is that why that was in my head? Cool. Now I can connect the
Mhm.
dots. So,
Mhm.
but I think you already know what you want, and you're ready to move forward. Did you see your house with the sunrise and the sunset?
Yeah, the house is coming before the book.
That's awesome.
Like that was
It was
like,
a lake house, which I
that's
like.
great for the book to be published to get this house.
Yeah. So I missed the book is coming out, or you have a book? It's coming
Yeah.
out.
So I have a book that was just published. It's a multi-author book. It's called Transforming Pain into Purpose, Uplifting Stories of Empowerment. And then I'm also working with a couple of people to write a larger work that's a solo published book. Yeah.
Okay. So let us know when it's out, and definitely we'll get one. Buy it. Autograph it for me.
So this one's out. Share it in the
this one's
chat.
out.
Share it in the chat, Jody. Let her grab it.
It's out, and it is the digital copy. Let me pull it up here. Is available right now for 99 cents. And then I think in about a week, the paperback copy will be available. And I think the digital copy price will go up.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so would love it if you wanted to get a copy and leave a review. That all of the proceeds from this book go to charity, so to help communities to get clean water and sanitation. So none of us like get any money off of it. It's not a profit piece. It's really just a work from the heart, really. For me, it was
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
impact.
How many?
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely an impact.
Mhm.
How long is it?
The book is like every person wrote a chapter, and there are 30 women. So I don't have page numbers because I have it on my Kindle. But you don't have to have a Kindle. You can download the Kindle app on any device. So I would say, I know my chapter is like 6 or 7 pages. So 6 times 30, 6, 12, 18, 180, maybe 200 pages.
Okay.
Or less. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how do you feel writing your first book?
Accomplished, relieved, like, I would say proud. Like I did it, and I feel like it kind of paved the path for the bigger work to come. Like it's just, did it, it's out there, owned it, and now moving on to the next one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I don't have a Kindle, but remind us when the paperback comes out.
Yeah.
And just so you know, you don't have to have Kindle, just need the Kindle app. So you could get the app on your phone too, if you want it for 99 cents instead of whatever the price is going to be.
Do you have to pay for the Kindle though?
No, the Kindle app is free.
Oh,
And then you can read it on your computer, your phone, your tablet.
but then you have to read it on your phone. Yeah.
Right. You have to read it on your phone or your laptop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Rather have the paper.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I love you, ladies. So proud of both of you. Doing good stuff in the world. Good vibes.
Yeah.
All right. See you next week, same time. Love you.
thanks.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Love you too. Bye.